You ever heard this before? Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do. You ever heard that before? I'm telling you, this stuff comes alive. Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. What's the biggest enemies of the world right now? Zionist Americanism. It's been like that, but it's really out there right now. But the Zionists, don't worry about them. They killed a Palestinian lady last week. Wouldn't even let the people carry the casket. And they beat them till they was holding a flower, you know, the way the flowers are made in a cross. So all the Christians are saying, that's a cross. So the lady must be a Christian, right? And the dumb Zionist, you don't have to worry. All the preaching in the world is not necessary. Leave them alone.
They're working with Christians that don't even think the Palestinian Christians are Christians.
That's all right.
Well, the evangelicals don't think those are
No, they don't think that that's right.
Christians. They're real Christians.
They don't think they're real. They think they're Philistines. You know the Philistines? Yeah, they think they're Philistines. Okay, nope, it's close to Palestine. But it's okay. You got to look at the history. The history is going in our direction. I'm sorry. It's the tilt now is just like when we used to cut down them trees or when you open a book, when that spine cracks, that book is used. When you cut that tree and put that undercut and start hitting from the behind, and that boy wobbles a little at the top, and you hear that crack, that's up, that's it. It's all over. That's America. That's America, and it's a Zionist. And they haven't slowed down. They still, like we running this show, and they killing this people, that people, and everybody else is making friends with other people. That's why it seems like it was a little thing, the dentist thing, and then you look in your mouth and you see the whole top is rotten, that they was putting stuff so that your whole mouth would rot. And then you wonder why you want to. I said, you just fixed those teeth up there, so why would you want to pull all four of them? Well, because they've been doing like the car place, fix the thing so it'll run down the street and stop. Why did they want to pull all of the teeth and put a freeze so they wouldn't touch me for a week until I mentioned all the stuff the other day? And they just pulled one tooth. That's all I wanted to pull. And then now I can see the others. I said, man, them boys are rotten. Because you got the right, you know, just call and, the government said, no, fix his teeth, it's fine. So the dummies, with the government calling them, see, they're not absent-minded. The government is calling them, and they're calling the government, what you want us to do? And the people are asking at the dentist's office, how's things looking in California? What about this and what about that? They're getting special information. So I know what they're doing, just like I know the car people. Like all this FBI, they're a bunch of punks. That's okay. I'm going to move toward a close. You have to have, in order to finish him off, you have to have patience. As-sabru wa nifsul liman. Institutional memory. Historical knowledge. You have to be in this for the long haul. Just a few more things. What is your gift? What did Allah give you? Not what Allah gave everybody else. The policy that we have enacted here, I believe, is the best policy. It's the Negro policy. For this period, for this time, there's nothing better. There's nothing that got them off balance. They are off balance. There's nothing they can do. They can't go run around and collect all the videos and CDs because they don't know who has them all. And there's enough out there. And the redundancy to say the same thing over and over and over and over again. For decades. I'm telling you, for decades. We've been knowing what we've been dealing with for decades. Okay, so this is the historical, the right time. So we have to re-engineer the whole thing because the ideas that Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui had was the right thing. So there's a pause, but we have to have enough to institute his program and incorporate it with our program. And you have to have enough backup to dictate policy to the coons. And I say the coon Muslims. We have tried with just truth and right and correctness. They ain't into that. So we have to come and the system is going to have to admit or state that this nigga know what he's talking about and he has the money to get it done. Might as well give it away because this ain't going to be worth nothing in another 2-3 weeks. When this crash comes, I don't know anybody else can feel it or smell it, but this boy here is going to, when it comes down, the whole thing come tumbling down. I'm not looking at it from a racist, ethno-specific point of view. I'm looking at it historical. I don't see no way out for Bossman. I just don't. Oh, it would be all right if they do. It's fine. Okay. We'll talk about families. We'll talk about snitches and all of that a little later. But snitches, heck, forget about it. Don't worry about it. If Bossman tell the snitches, that's a good nigga there. Go on and help him out. The snitches will help. Sure. They just got to get the clearance from Bossman. All they got to do is, you sure it's all right, boss? Yes, sir. In fact, I'll order you to help, nigga. Yes, sir. It's okay. They won't do it for you, but they'll do it for Bossman. I'm telling you. Don't worry about it. Institutional knowledge, historical knowledge, behavioral patterns, Oakland Expediency Council, that's what they have in Iran. Historical religious behavior. This is a historical religious period that we're going through. I don't know about y'all. I'm just going to go over a few things. I think I've mentioned a little bit about captains of industry, that years ago when I was with all the so-called gangster Negroes and all of that, I would be thinking something, I would never say it though. I said, these niggas here, if they was born in a different environment and everything, I use the term in my own mind, captains of industry. This was in the 60s and the 70s. These niggas would have been captains of industry. I was just imagining that on the game that they had and the abilities they had. Then I went overseas and it proved itself out. When I saw the difference between the American Negro and the so-called learned African, whatever they was, the nigga from here was like 5,000 years ahead of time and way tougher. You could catch any one of them with a white girl and any one of them. Any one of them. And the only thing the nigga want to do is pimp. I pimp that be blankety blank. You know what I mean? He wouldn't do right, but he wouldn't be drooling at the mouth. You know what I mean? But the African, and when they saw us, they thought that. I remember, and I'll close. I was one night, me and Dr. Branyan, we was at one of the brothers. He was mentioned in Malcolm X's book. He was press secretary for Kwame Nkrumah. We was at his house, and we were all foreigners, so all our friends and visitors would be, a lot of them would be foreigners. So it was some East Germans there. And this East German got drunk, and he was, you know, it sounded like an Adolf Hitler speech. I'm sure it was. You know, it was just, where people get drunk. And then it was some more people there, white man, little woman, and they was, you think you're going to get your da-da-da-da-da? He said, in Africa right now, he's talking to me. I could get you hung there hanging, talking about Portugal at that time. See, Portugal was still, so that people are still getting hung right now. And you're talking about freedom and liberation. And then the little white woman said, well, then what would you do with me? Before I could open my mouth, Dr. John Branyan says, you would be the first to go. You'd be the first one to go. Because I didn't technically have an answer for that right off, but he knew what to say. You can say what you want, but Dr. John Branyan, he was fluent in, of course, English, and he was Lausanne, Switzerland. He was educated there, so French and Swiss, he had all them languages, and I used to say, Doc, how do you fix your mouth to say that stuff? Because he could speak perfect French. He was educated in Lausanne, Switzerland, of all places, probably the highest education place to get educated in medicine at that time. He said, you would be the first to go. And then that night we was taking a walk, and we walked up, and the hotel that I was staying with out on the beach, what I was staying at, there they was talking. And what about that big black one? Da, 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 da. You know. And then they saw us coming, and then they got quiet for a minute. What I'm trying to say is the experience and the history, you wouldn't know what your people have. I would say now they've destroyed most of it. They've taken most of it away. But that was a time when Negroes was really big time, bigger than they knew. They was bigger than anybody else, but they didn't know it. They just didn't know it. That's when I would be sitting there. I said, if these niggas, they would be captains of industry because of the game that they had. But in 5 years or 10 years, the white man's system will have worn them down and break up. And the white man's system got busy on me, but it didn't work because I got a chance to pull back and sidestep and watch. And of course, I'm thankful for Bossman. Without him, we'd be common Negroes with no future. But the white man then showed us exactly what to do and how to do it. And that he ain't nothing and he ain't nobody. And now it's worse than that. you know, his date. He done got his, like you get a release date from the penitentiary. The white man has got his default date almost. Negroes captured us. We got here all the way to the bus stop. That means we're going all the way to the end of the line. You know, where the bus goes all the way over here, then it turn around and rest a little while and come back. We're going all the way to the end of the line. Okay. And we missed all the stuff, the little stuff that they have, like the white girl trap. They was thinking that this is a big old dark nigga. He gonna like white